my car is broken again. Welcome back to my channel. Here in the garage, and today we're gonna be working on the RX-7 because I realized that something is leaking and it is no bueno. A couple of weeks ago I was driving the RX-7 and I heard some noises from the back, and if you guys saw my video about the whole subframe that I did, I was hearing a weird clunking noise coming from the rear, and what ended up happening was my axles were just not tight at all, but I still replaced them anyways. And then a couple of weeks after that I did a bolt check where I was just making sure that everything was tight, because when you do solid bushings everything just shakes and vibrates a lot. So I figured that something was loose, and when I was under the car I noticed that my diff was leaking diff fluid from the stub shaft seal that goes into the diff. It was leaking fluid, and I didn't realize that you needed to replace the stub shaft seals. So it was sloshing diff fluid all over my fuel tank, which I noticed, and just kind of all over like my axle and stuff, which is not good because if your diff doesn't have fluid it's gonna overheat, which is obviously just horrible. So today I'm gonna be fixing that. If you guys saw in the last video, the Z is under construction and it's going to the body shop very soon, so I really won't have another car to be working on. So I really want this car to be completely finished. These are the stub shaft seals. I got them online for like $6 or $8 each or something on Parts Geek or Parts.com. But I've had these sitting around for a little bit. We're finally gonna get to it to install them. I don't have any diff fluid. Ooh, probably should have got some diff fluid. Oh, I'll get that tomorrow. So we're gonna do that. And then honestly, there's just like a couple of general things that I really wanna get done on the car. Headlight motor needs to be replaced because headlight motor went out, so my headlight is just stuck up. So let's just get started with that. So we are up under the car now, and as you can see, this is my fuel tank here. You can see that this is all just diff fluid, and that sucks, man. That sucks. Like, I thought I did everything right. You can think that you did everything right, and then you just didn't. So I noticed that this side is actually completely fine, but it's this side that I saw a bunch of fluid was all over like the stub shaft and all over the bottom of the axle and stuff. So I definitely think that it's just leaking from here, and then as I'm driving it's just getting all over everything else. The goal today is to take this apart, hammer out the stub shaft, and hopefully just replace the seal, make it easy enough. I don't think I'll do the other side because honestly it's like perfectly fine. There's not leaking anything over there, so I'm really hoping I can just do this one and it be good. Okay, so I just threw the e-brake up so that I could break these all loose and get them off. Go. Hoping I could just like finesse this. Okay, here's the current setup. We got the oil pan. Still had all the oil from Z. I didn't even empty it out yet. So I got a hammer and a flathead, and we're gonna see what we can do here. To fall in the... Oh, of course. Of course, bro. Of course. That was easier than I thought. That was much easier than I thought. Read online that you should be able to just fit some channel locks in here. I don't know how I lost both of my channel locks, but I mean, I'm gonna try just something. Let's see if I can get... I think I'm gonna run inside and grab a pair of channel locks. So I've got some channel locks. Try to just beat the living shit out of this. Oh, that was pretty easy. Here's why I think that this stub shaft was leaking. So here's the old seal, right? Obviously I just kind of beat it out. This little metal ring was inside the diff. Once I was trying to get this out, I was reaching inside the diff and I found this kind of just sitting there. And this is like a little metal ring that goes around on the inside of here, which I'm sure seals it or does something, you know what I'm saying? Because this was just sitting inside the diff, I assumed that this was just not properly sealing, and that's why it was leaking. So the old stub shaft seal out, axle seal, same thing. I called it stub shaft seal. So I'm gonna try to beat this one back in, and then we should just reverse the process and it should be all good. This should go in like this. So that definitely looks like it's properly seated back down. Put the stub shaft back in. was so quick. I kind of thought that this was gonna be a lot longer of a process. Axle nuts. Alright guys, new stub shaft seal is in, the axle is back on, tightened everything down. Surprisingly, that install was a lot easier than I thought. I thought it was going to be a pain in the butt because old seals, when they're rubber, they're just really hard to get out. But using the channel locks was the best thing that I could have done because I was sitting there with a hammer and a flathead screwdriver and I was about to kill myself. So using the channel locks definitely made a difference. So tomorrow I'm gonna get some diff fluid and fill up the diff and just make sure that it's full. I used about 2 bags, but judging by how much fluid is on the fuel tank, I think just a lot of it dripped out. So I'm gonna make sure that that's refilled. Then tomorrow I'm also going to do the headlight motor because I just want to get that done. Now it's pretty much just the oil change, the headlight motor, and then some random miscellaneous stuff. So we'll do that tomorrow. But for now, good night. So it's not the next day, it's actually 2 days later. Single digits here. Yesterday was 8 degrees and today is for some reason 19 degrees. And we are going to finish the RX-7 because I really just want to drive it. I have the battery packs inside charging because last time when I posted that video on Instagram of my car idling, all I did was start the car and I pulled it outside of my garage. I pulled it literally right out here and I just filmed a little bit. It took 2 jump packs to get this thing started. I probably cranked it about 45 times before it finally turned over. So the battery is dead. So all I'm gonna do now is jack up the rear, fill up the diff just a little bit, and then we're gonna take off the front bumper and do the headlight motor because I might as well just get it done. I don't really want to be out here messing with the bumper at any other time, so I might as well just get it done. So the diff was still pretty full of fluid, so I tried to put some in there, but it kind of just all dripped out. So I assume it's still full, which is good. Move on to the front bumper. Gotta take it off to get to the headlight motor that's underneath there. This is my Christmas tree, by the way. I took it down finally, and it's supposed to go in a box. It's behind the Z, but trying to fit all of this into a box is just gonna be a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna leave that for another day, and we'll do a quick time lapse because getting the bumper off is not too interesting. So bumper's off, you can see the headlight motor is right in here. Legally, I think all cars that have pop-ups have to have a manual screw here at the bottom, which is like this thing here. But it is completely stuck on mine, which I think is a sign that the motor just went out. This one is also kind of like stuck. I don't really like that. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this one is much better, much better. So I'm gonna use this one. I'm just gonna go off of the mounting points here. Should be these 3 mounting points, and then should be able to take it off. So a couple of weeks ago, I got 2 boxes full of FC parts, and there happened to be 2 headlight motors in there, so I figured this would be the perfect time because then I don't have to buy a new one. But low-key, I still think I'm gonna have to get one because I noticed on the used headlight motor there was no plug for the relay, and mine had a plug for the relay, and it actually had the relay still attached to it. So I don't really know why, but I decided to do some sort of surgery that you see here, and I thought swapping just the bottom part of the motor might potentially make it work for some reason. And chat, don't come for me. I just like to try to exhaust all of my possible options before I have to spend the money on a brand new one or splice into any wiring. So I put everything back together. Now the real test is to see if once it's plugged into the car, if it actually works. I have a feeling that it's not going to work and that I'm going to have to buy a new one, but hey, we tried, right? This mission was unsuccessful. I could not get the car started. Both of my battery packs are dead, and of course they take freaking forever to charge, so I can't get it started now, and therefore I can't check if the headlight motor works. I'm just kind of praying that it does, and if it doesn't, whatever, I'll just buy one online. It's just so dang cold out here. I have a feeling that this was just a sign that I should not take the car out and I should just not drive it in this weather, even though I really want to. Anyways, next video we're going to be bringing the Z over to the body shop. Today is Wednesday, and I'm going to be picking up my wheels tomorrow, I believe, my rear wheels. and then we're gonna be driving to the body shop on Sunday to get it dropped off, put the quarter panels, and do all the Bondo work. So this car is not gonna be here after next week. Also, little off topic here, but I really wanted to end the video on this because although this is my car YouTube channel, I am still a part of it, and I do always like to be open about kind of what I'm going through or what's going on in my life. Last few weeks I've been dealing with some personal stuff, and like the last couple days have been really hard for me. I've been struggling a lot, and one thing I will say is through all the ups and downs and hardships that I've gone through in my life and the people that I've lost, the sadness that I've felt about a lot of things has always been so consistent in my life, and it's been cars and social media. It's like the one thing that makes me the happiest person that I could possibly be. I've never felt passionate about anything in my life as much as I do about cars. I'm probably the only dumb person that I know that sits out here in a garage in 8-degree weather and works on their car and films it, because I just genuinely love doing what I do so much. I'm just so appreciative of the platform that I've built and the people that are here supporting me. Like I read all your guys' comments. I always try to respond to DMs. I love the support so much. It just means so much to me, because it's like if I didn't have this, I really don't know what I would be doing. It makes my life feel like it has purpose, and for that I'm just very grateful for all of you guys for watching and commenting, and you know, on all the platforms, not just YouTube, but just all of those things, because it really does keep me going as much as I hope it keeps you guys going. That just anything is fucking possible, bro. Like anything is possible. I used to work in the driveway of my mom's house, and I didn't have any tools, and I would borrow stuff from people, and I had the cheapest AutoZone tools because that was all I had. And now I'm sitting here so grateful that I have a 2-car garage to myself. I have a badass toolbox, and I have tons of tools and power tools and things that I would have never thought I would be able to have of my own. This is 5 years in the making of being into cars. I owe it all to the people who love and support me and saw the vision of my stupid ass saying I wanted to do cars and wanted to pursue social media. What I'm trying to get at here is thank you guys so much for always supporting and seeing me and seeing my vision and supporting that vision of mine, because if it wasn't for you guys, I really don't think I would feel any sort of purpose in my life. And yeah, I'm getting a little too sappy here. Just remember that everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. Everything happens for a reason. It feels hard right now, but just go through the emotions and sit with it and feel it and process it and move on. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. And working on cars makes everything better. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video where we're dropping the Z off at the body shop. I'm so excited. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.